Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce created a core group of 5 top-notch intellectuals. Mr. P.N. Vijay, Dr. Rimki Majumdar, Om Prakash, Joydeep Nag and Venkatakrishnan. We created a report which will be sent to government. The objective of the report is to identify the top 5 issues that's impacting the industry post-pandemic. We identified the top 5 issues. One, credit flow. Second, revival of NBFCs. Third, more liquidity for MSME. Fourth, job creation. Fifth, demand creation. These are all the top 5 issues that we have identified. For each of the issues, we are given recommendations and what is the background. The purpose of the report is to make sure that the government gets the support from an industry chamber like us to tell just not only the issues but also what the government should do, what is the recommendations from the chamber. We are not interested in merely saying what is not missed, but we are more interested from a chamber perspective what the government should do in this under the conditions, prevailing conditions, and our recommendations on that side. The top 3 or 4 recommendations we believe it's important for the industry. We believe the revival of the bank-led credit is very, very important. The growth of bank-led credit to the industry is critical for revival of the economy, particularly the industrial growth. Second, digitization is more on the lending space needs to be done, like what we have done in digitization in the payment space, more digitization on the lending space, revival of the MSME sector through more injecting higher liquidity. 4, revival of the NBFC sectors, and the RBI should take active participation, active role in reviving the NBFC sectors. While the government has done significantly on the supply side, we also believe the government can do more, the RBI can do more on revival of the demand side. And there are we have given some recommendations, but one of the important recommendations is that the targeted families who are impacted by the COVID impact, they can be given more support so that the revival of the demand will be there. And above all, we believe more infrastructure growth will create a much more demand in the system. So these are all the highlights of our recommendations. And we believe the government has done a significant thing in the last year by opening the Atmanirbhar and increasing the significant reforms and infrastructure and other areas. But by making some of these drastic changes in the shifts, we believe India has got a significant potential to reach $5 trillion economy and will be reaching fast. That's our thought process and objective behind the report. Thank you.
I'm P.N. Vijay, an investment banker, and I headed the expert committee of the BCIC on recommendations to be made to the RBI on the economic climate in the country. We had a very good group, a good mixture of an economist, people from the financial sector, people from business, who have had rich experience and who have got deep analytical skills. And I think what we have brought out is a very good document. We looked at the state of affairs post the second wave and found that the government had done a great job in reviving the economy, which is virtually in a state of collapse. And the government improved the supply situation, debottlenecked the economy, pumped in a lot of money to the people at the bottom of the pyramid through direct transfers, through free rations and so on. So the government was off the the economy was off the ICU. But then as a chamber we asked ourselves, what are the strategies for sustainability in the next 1 or 2 years? And we decided on a bottoms-up approach. We said which are the areas, which are the bottlenecks. And we as a group identified 5 areas. We said credit flow is very tardy in spite of, and the interest rate transmission was not happening to the extent required. So we gave some suggestions on improvement of the credit flow, especially to MSMEs and so on. And we found that the NBFCs have been pretty badly affected in this pandemic because of large provisions, etc. And the growth of the fintech industry is a great opportunity to digitalize and improve transmission of credit and to improve the lot of the NBFCs. So I've given some suggestions on that. Then we looked at the MSME space, which unfortunately in our view doesn't get the type of attention it deserves given its size of the GDP it contributes, size of the employment cake that it contributes. So we came with some specific suggestions to get the MSMEs. MSMEs are reviving. It's not that it's a dismal story or something. To improve that. Then we looked at two of the most tracked economic indicators in any economy, which is consumption and employment. And we found that while government investment was good, while consumption at the bottom of the pyramid was good, we were not getting the type of consumption that is required to sustain the economy at the 7 to 8% growth. And we also found that employment, though admittedly, even as we were preparing the report, the employment numbers were looking up, which was good. But then again, the sustainability of it. Is it a pent-up demand effect we are seeing, or is it sustainable? So we gave some long-term strategies and tactics for improving the demand scenario and the employment scenario. So we have, I think, come out of the bouquet of very clear-cut, easily understandable solutions, which we hope the powers that be in Mumbai and Delhi look at and try to implement. We thought we owed it to the nation to do something like this. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Om Prakash, the chairman for the Banking, Finance and Corporate Affairs Committee of BCIC. As a chairman, now I would be very glad to inform that the thought process of the president of BCIC has really culminated and come out in a very big, beautiful report. And I should really thank the guidance of Mr. P.N. Vijaya and Rumki, the team member, have done a wonderful job. And I really feel that this report will be helpful to the agencies and the government to take it forward. And we have done a proactive approach for this. And I would ask Rumki to also address the efforts gone into it. She is a business analyst. She will highlight what was the important, how it better.
Thank you so much. I'm Rumki, and it's been a great experience being a part of this committee. It's been a roller coaster ride for 1.5 years for India, and I think India managed it really well. We stayed afloat, but the way forward would be challenging because we are bouncing back very strongly. What we need to do is sustain the growth going forward, and the 5 highlights that we have mentioned. One is job creation, which will lead to higher income, which will require the MSME sector to grow faster, and credit to grow faster, credit to the MSME sector to grow faster. All these points we have highlighted in the report, and we are very positive that the economy will have a very strong rebound and will reach the 5 trillion economy very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.